We thought we were done, but there is one more to Fun for Five. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Hayward here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Rich or Rich and Fun for Five. That's right. It's here on EXP launch week that we have found out that going through all of the videos that are on the channel, we did forget one collection to officially Fun for Five, and that is Intellivision Collection 1. That's right. Intellivision Collection 1 never did get a Fun for Five because I was going to do that cool special video thing with Intellivision 1 and 2. Probably based on the fact that I was Fun for Fiving literally each and every one of the games as I went along. So, you know, like on the Intellivision Tuesday side of things. So that could have been a thing. But you know what? It's EXP launch week. I kind of want to just be like caught up. So when I finally get my EXP in my hands, I will have all the collections so I could just dive right in and do some Fun for Fives there. So without any further ado, let's jump in to Intellivision Collection 1 and find out which of these games does get the coveted Rich's pick. Let's go. Now, before we continue, I must also warn you that the rose-tinted glasses are still firmly affixed to my face. I am, yes, a pretty extreme Intellivision fan, just as much as I am a extreme Atari fan. I do lean Atari a little bit more than Intellivision because that's what I had in my house, but I do have that soft spot here for Intellivision. I am a collector. I collect the games, even though I don't have a method of playing them with their cartridges. I still collect them anyway. I've got my Ultimate Intellivision Flashback, which is amazing and can provide me with ways of playing other games and all of that kind of stuff. So just to preface one more time, a lot of these things that I'm about to say, especially when I get to at least one or two of these games and I'm going to give them a pick, you're going to be like, you're absolutely out of your mind. And I'm going to like, no. I'm going to tell you why, but I'm also going to say, no, it's actually still Rich's pick, so whatever. Okay, so we're going to start with Astro Smash. Now, if you're an Intellivision fan, right, or if I claim to be an Intellivision fan and I do not give this game a Rich's pick, something is wrong with the equation there. This is an automatic pick. Of course, Astro Smash is a cool game. Do I like it better than Asteroids? No. Do I like it better than Missile Command? Now, that's a conversation worth having, actually. Do I like this game better than Missile Command? I don't know. Maybe. It's an awesome game. It's really cool. It's a fixed shooter. You're a turret that can move left and right, and the things fall down. You shoot as many of them as possible, and when they hit the ground, instead of you dying, you actually lose points. But if the asteroid or thing or whatever projectile hits you, then you do lose a ship. It's super fun. In the regular game mode, you can actually get some pretty high scores. You're gonna get a really cool flow going, and that's really what these games are all about: is getting into the zone, getting as high score as possible, and seeing all the cool things happen on screen. It's really cool. And totally worth your time. And of course, on the Intellivision Collection 1, if this wasn't the one that's going to highlight the fact that this is an Intellivision collection, again, I don't know which one. I don't know what other game you could pick outside of maybe Cloudy Mountain, which wound up on the collection too. But come on, it's Astro Smash. It gets a pick. Let's go. All right, we go to Buzz Bombers, which is kind of like Centipede, but like weirdly different enough where it's intriguing and it's kind of fun to play. This one's getting a pick for me too. I didn't actually play this one until way later into the Intellivision Collection days, when I finally got a copy of this and then slapped that into my old Intellivision that I had gotten when I first started collecting. So this game is neat. It's basic. It's a shooter. You just kind of like do your thing. You're getting high scores and all that kind of stuff. But this one is actually more in the line of you've got to you've got to make sure that you're shooting at the right things, and you're shooting at, like you're getting the bees with the repellent, but you're leaving enough honeycombs so when the hummingbird comes, you can get bonus points because they're eating the honey. But you also have to make sure that the bees are pollinating the honey, like before you will shoot them. It's a crazy game, but very cool and very worth your time, in my opinion. So get to pick Frog Bog. Now I think this is the one. This is the one where people start screaming at the whatever device you're looking at, the phone, the computer screen, the television, in case you're watching me on there. This is the one, because I'm about to tell you that this is a pick. And then people are going to be like, what are you? No, it's Frog Bog. You're a frog. You've jumped from leaf to leaf, and you eat flies, and that's it. Yes, that is true. But I'm still giving it a pick. Why? Because nostalgia is a fickle and strong thing. And the reason why I'm giving it a pick is actually, I mean, maybe it's one of those things. It's a rule break. I'm giving Frog Bog the pick because Frogs and Flies isn't on this collection. And I played Frogs and Flies on the Atari 2600 for hours and hours and hours. I don't know why. I just love the way it felt. I don't like the way this one feels. So in that sense, actually, to recommend it to an Evercade player, maybe I'm convincing myself to downgrade to a half pick. But I love Frogs and Flies so much, I just want to give it the pick. Man. You know what? No. The better sense in me is saying, you know what? Just leave it as a half pick. Because it's nostalgia. I'm giving it the pick because it's like the game that you can't play on the Evercade because it's not on the Evercade. And this one is a cool version of it, but it doesn't play as well as the one on the Atari 2600. So therefore, no, half pick. That's right. Okay. I feel better about this. Do you feel better? I think I feel better. Anyway, Frog Bog, half pick. But if this was Frogs and Flies, I don't care what anyone uses. You guys yell at me all you want. That's getting a full pick every day of the week. Frogs and Flies. I don't know why. It just is. Anyway, we move on to Night Stalker, which is again one of the other like seminal Intellivision titles. If you guys know anything about the Intellivision brand, Night Stalker is one of those games right along Astro Smash, right along Cloudy Mountain, right along a whole bunch of other games that are like classic Intellivision games. This one definitely gets a pick. There's a cool way to exploit this game where you can get a lot of points if you're in a high score challenge, which is pretty neat. Shout out to Crow. He probably knows what I'm talking about. Certainly DJC Game Studios. He definitely knows what I'm talking about. But it's cool. It's a cool game. It's really neat. It doesn't feel like anything that I've played before. It's kind of like if you took Berserk and put it in Pac-Man. Like that's what it kind of feels like to me. But it's just an awesome, really cool game. So definitely worth your time, and it gets the solid pick. Pinball. Now, this is another one where, again, I want to just give it the pick. It is a really cool game. You know what? I might give it a pick just on its own merits, but it's not video pinball, which you can play on the Evercade on Atari Collection 2, is it? No. I don't know. I think it's on the Atari Collection 1. Let me just see. I'm verifying live. Yes, it's on Atari Collection 1. So like almost literally everyone that has an Evercade handheld has video pinball. So you should play video pinball. Now, should I tell you, should you play video pinball over pinball on the Intellivision? I don't know, maybe. Like this one feels more like a pinball machine than video pinball, but video pinball was the one I grew up with. So I would take video pinball over this, but I still think this is a solid enough pinball game, so I'm going to give it a pick. So it does get the pick. I mean, it's cool. It's worth your time. And if you're into that kind of thing, definitely play. So pinball gets a pick. All right. We go to Princess Quest, which automatically gets a pick because, yes, please, homebrew. Yes, 100%. Intellivision homebrew, let's go. They do all sorts of crazy stuff. There's a guy out there, is a YouTube buddy, Brian from Brian's Man Cave. He's been doing all sorts of really awesome things. He made Keystone Capers for the for the Atari He remade it for the Intellivision and put that out. People are doing all sorts of crazy stuff with either 2600 games that never made it to Intellivision, or cool ideas like Princess Quest, which is basically Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, whatever, made for the Intellivision. It's just really cool. So all the way yes on this stuff, because the more things that we see in this nature, the more really awesome, really kind of inventive homebrew. I think more people need to see this, and Evercade is a great source of that, right? You could put out a cart and just be like, boom, homebrew collection 1, like, let's go. So Princess Quest definitely gets a pick, because it's wicked fun, and I think more people need to see the awesome work that the community has been doing. Shark. It's another one of those games. It's kind of like, it's what is it? Fusion Frenzy before Fusion Frenzy. You're a little shark and you eat sharks that are you're a little fish and you eat little fish that are just a little smaller than you, and you get bigger, and then you can eat those, like more next smaller fish until you get so big that you're eating everything in sight. And of course, there is a shark that you have to avoid, and you can snap its tail and make it go all sorts of weird stuff or whatever. It's cool. It's very cool. I mean, you probably shouldn't try to eat the shark, because it's not going to work out for you. But like I said, it's fun. It's fun to just sit around and play. It's cool on 2-player on the VS as well, and it's a good time. So I'm giving it a pick. And it doesn't matter if it's just kind of like, yes, you just float around and you eat things, but you know what? It's so cool. Shark gets a pick. Slapshot Super Pro Hockey, though. No, I don't think it does get a pick. I would love to give it a pick, but it's just something about this version. I don't know if it's just not working, if it's a weird ROM, something, especially also because it's like a forced 2-player kind of thing. You can play it 1-player mode, but the CPU doesn't play very well. I don't even know if it actually played very well on the original version of this game either. But it's just this one's a pass, because again, when you start to play, it doesn't actually play nice with you. So I can't recommend it as a game, unfortunately. So Slapshot Super Pro Hockey does not get a pick. So there we go. Snafu. This one, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and throw a half pick out there. It's a cool game, but it's Snake. With some like variations. Yes, mind you, there are some things that you can do that are different than Snake. There's different game modes that you can play. There's all sorts of other cool and quirky things, but it's basically Snake. But it's a cool game that those of you that are interested in like that exploration of games that used to be, like looking into the lens of history to find out, oh well, this became this kind of thing, can look back at Snafu and go, okay, this is a cool game. So with that being said, it does get the half pick. But I mean, this one's not going to be for everyone, but it is kind of cool 2-player on the VS. It is kind of fun. So there you go. Snafu getting a half pick. Thin Ice is getting a pick. This is one of those games. It's kind of like Glass. And then what was on that? That was on what is it, on Galco 1 or Galco 2 or something like that. Where it's like you draw around, and then instead of revealing a picture, you're actually you're drawing around to make sure that the little like penguin dudes are falling into the ice. As you go and try to do like collections for points and all that kind of stuff. It's cool. It's a cool game, and it's fun, and also has tremendous Intellivision history, as this is one of the last games, if not the last game, that Keith Robinson, who was the long time steward of the Intellivision name from the Mattel days all the way through just recently, that he made. So It's a cool piece of history because it has his contribution, as he was the creator of this game. So it's cool, and then it gets a full pick, and it's definitely worth your time. So you guys should check it out. All right, cool. We go to Thunder Castle. Now this is one of my favorite games on the collection, so you're obviously knowing you're gonna get a pick out of me on this one. But even more is the sheer everything in this game. Like, this is kind of like pushing the power of the Intellivision a little. It doesn't look much, but it looks better than most Intellivision games. It doesn't, might not even sound like much, but it sounds better than almost every Intellivision game. The soundtrack is awesome. It's like chip-tuned versions of very awesome classical musics. And it's just a really cool game. It's multi-stage, which not a lot of Intellivision games were. That most of them were all like one single screen that maybe changed backgrounds or something. But this one actually, you go to at least 3 separate places in this game in order to play, and it's really fun. It's super, super fun. So Thunder Castle not only gets the richest pick, but it's probably like pick of the cart. This is, if you're gonna, this might be a reason to buy Intellivision Collection 1, like over Astro Smash, over Thin Ice, over all those other things. Like, this game is really, really good, and I think people should check it out. So Thunder Castle getting the full pick. And then we get to Word Rockets, which is part of Learning Fun 2, which is a game that is insanely hard to get. And if you do find one, it's mega bucks, even for cart only. So it's kind of interesting that we get one of the games that's part of this other game that is, it's hard to find. However, and it's probably because most of the other games on Learning Fun 2 require the gamepad, and this is one of the ones that translates better. But to be honest, it would be just fun to have Learning Fun 2. Like just the whole game, and you just go into the menus, and maybe in the manual to be like, you could try to play the others. It won't really work, but it's just kind of cool. And here's this cool ROM that we got our license for. But here, and then in parentheses, like, just please play Word Rockets, because it actually works or something. I don't know. Maybe that's just the collector in me, or the, like the partial game historian that just wants the thing to live on. But this game is kind of cool. I'm going to give it a half pick, not only because it's not actually the full game, but it's also like, in its Word Rockets, it's like you're this little, it's not even like a rocket. It's like you're like a wheelbarrow, or no, like one of those like radio flyer carts, and you just go a wagon, and you go through and you find a letter, and then when it's at the letter, you fire the letter up, to complete a word, and you're spelling 2 and 3 and 4 letter words or whatever. Good if you had a kid and they're going through their letters. It might be a fun game for them to play for a little bit, and it is just fun to play, just to see. But getting the half pick there. So all right, there we go. So Word Rockets getting the half pick. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games of the 12 getting full picks. And you know what that means? That means that is a solid cart. Let's go to the wrap up and talk about it just a little bit more. So Intellivision Collection 1, rose tinted glasses and all, is definitely one that I would say is a solid pick. It's a solid choice if you're looking for history. Just like when we were talking about Intellivision Collection 2, even Atari Collection 2, Atari Collection 1, heck, even maybe Lynx 1 and 2. Those are collections that are like, I want to look back at the history of games and find out where some of the other games that I know and love came from. You know, that's why you get Intellivision 1 or Intellivision 2 or Atari 2, or any of those. I think, in my opinion, that's where I think that happens. You know, it's a solid cart though that has really kind of cool games on it. Princess Quest in this one definitely kind of puts it over the edge for me. If I was going to go pound for pound Intellivision 1 or Intellivision 2, the fact that Princess Quest is on this one, Thin Ice is on this one, and Thunder Castle really on this one, I think Collection 1 edges out Collection 2 a little bit if I was going to kind of like weigh them. But you know, but I mean, it's me. I'm a collector. I'm gonna get them all anyway. So, but yeah, solid collection. And you know, if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into looking it back and you want the history, you know, check it out and get yourself some Intellivision and play some cool games. So, with all that being said, let me know down below what you guys think. Now, the next 2 days worth of content are going to be interesting because I'm going to go back and rewatch the other Fun for Fives. And actually, you know what? That might be the video. Let me know down below in the comments. If you're still here, thank you, 1, for watching. And 2, let me know in the comments, do you want me to rewatch those Fun for Fives and then live check because I did predictions for Renovation. It was either Renovation and Bitmap or Renovation and Gremlin. I did live Fun for Fives on either one of I definitely Renovation, but one of those others, because I didn't have time enough to play them, but I wanted to do, like, it became the week that I was going to do those Fun for Fives. So I kind of guessed at where I think I would land. I think I want to do that and like actually just watch it on the other screen, have me in the little screen, and as I go through, like, kind of pause and say like where I think I ended up. Maybe that'll be what I do. But let me know down below if you want me to actually do that. If not, we can do another, you know, like traditional Fun for Five where I go through the games and then I forget everything that happened and it just becomes a retconned mess in my timeline. Anyway, that's it. That's that. That is today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to everyone too for, you know, showing support to the channel, hitting that now, what is it, white or black subscribe button. You know, thank you. You know, we're edging real close. We're super close to 1,000 subscribers, and when we hit that milestone, you know how we like to do it over here. We love a good live stream party, and boy, oh boy, am I going to try to throw a big one if we hit it. So thanks everyone again for doing all that, and again the support. And hey man, we might be getting an EXP like this week in this building, in this house. I might have one, and if I do, we're going to do a live boxing reaction. If it doesn't happen by Thursday, maybe we're going to switch gears, go into Atari land maybe a little bit and check out some of that stuff while we're waiting for EXP to arrive. But I did order one from a now undisclosed retailer for right now. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. It's EXP launch week. Like, let's get hyped, guys. All right, cool. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching, and until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich. We will see you later. Take it easy, guys.
RTFC.baconicecream.com